August 29th, 2005. 6:10 a.m. A Category 3 hurricane makes landfall on the Louisiana coast. By the time the water stops rising, it will be one of the deadliest disasters in American history. Not because of the storm, because of what happened after it. This is the true story of how a city drowned and why the water didn't have to win. To understand what happened in New Orleans, you have to understand something most people don't know about the city. Most of it sits below sea level. It's a bowl, surrounded by water on almost every side. Lake Pontchartrain to the north, the Mississippi River to the south, the Gulf of Mexico beyond that. The only thing keeping that water out is a system of levees and floodwalls. Over 350 miles of them. Engineers had warned for decades that the system wasn't built to withstand a major storm. In 2004, a hurricane simulation called Hurricane Pam predicted almost exactly what would happen the following year. The simulation predicted a breached levee system, a flooded city, and tens of thousands of people unable to evacuate. The warnings were filed away. By late August 2005, nobody had acted on them. On August 23rd, a tropical depression formed over the Bahamas. Within days, it strengthened into a hurricane, and it was heading for the Gulf Coast. On August 27th, forecasters upgraded it to a Category 5. Mayor Ray Nagin issued a mandatory evacuation order for New Orleans, the first in the city's history. But not everyone could leave. An estimated 100,000 residents didn't have a car or the means to get out of the city. The city opened the Superdome as a shelter of last resort. By the morning of August 29th, roughly 26,000 people were sheltering inside. At 6:10 a.m., Katrina made landfall near Buras, Louisiana, as a Category 3 storm. The storm itself, brutal as it was not the worst-case scenario forecasters had feared. For a few hours, it seemed like New Orleans might have avoided the direct hit everyone had dreaded. Then the levees started to fail. Just after landfall, the Industrial Canal floodwall gave way. Then the 17th Street Canal levee failed. Then the London Avenue Canal. In total, more than 50 breaches let water pour into the city. Within hours, 80% of New Orleans was underwater. In some neighborhoods, the water reached 15 feet deep. People who had stayed behind were now trapped. In attics, on rooftops, waiting for rescue that wasn't coming fast enough. The Coast Guard would go on to rescue more than 33,000 people in the days that followed. But for thousands of others, help took days. Conditions inside the Superdome and the Convention Center deteriorated rapidly. No reliable power, limited food and water, and no clear plan for what came next. The response from every level of government was slow. It would take 5 days for the situation to be brought fully under control. When the water finally receded, the scale of the failure became impossible to ignore. Nearly 1,400 people were dead. More than 1 million people had been displaced from their homes. Investigations afterward placed significant blame on the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, whose levee system was found to have design and construction flaws. A federal judge later ruled that the Corps' negligence contributed directly to some of the flooding. The disaster also exposed how deeply unequal the impact of a natural disaster can be. The neighborhoods hit hardest, and the people left waiting longest for help were disproportionately low-income and black communities. Katrina forced a national reckoning about disaster preparedness, infrastructure investment, and inequality, one that's still being discussed today. In the years since, the Army Corps of Engineers rebuilt the levee system at a cost of more than $14 billion. It's now designed to withstand what engineers call a 100-year storm. But many who lived through Katrina will tell you the same thing. The storm didn't break the city. The failure to prepare for it did. Today, New Orleans has largely rebuilt, but some neighborhoods, like the lower 9th Ward, never fully recovered their population. Katrina remains one of the clearest lessons in American history about what happens when warnings go unheeded. If you found this story worth knowing, subscribe. Because the disasters that reveal the most about us are exactly what this channel is built to explore.